Being transgender is not a mental illness, and it should not be treated as such. These words, spoken by countless individuals within the transgender community, resonate with the core principle of self-identification. It is the fundamental right of every human being to define their own gender identity, free from external coercion or societal pressure. This right is not merely about choosing a pronoun or a bathroom. It is about recognizing the inherent dignity and autonomy that every individual deserves. For far too long, transgender people have been denied this basic human right. They have been forced to conform to rigid, binary notions of gender, often facing discrimination, violence, and exclusion. The journey towards self-identification is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a fight for recognition and respect in a world that often struggles to see beyond the surface. The fight for transgender rights is a fight for human rights. It is a fight for the freedom to live authentically, to express oneself without fear, and to be recognized for who they truly are. Traditional views on gender, often rooted in outdated social constructs, have long confined individuals to a rigid binary system, male or female. This binary fails to encompass the diverse spectrum of gender identities that exist. It ignores the reality of intersex individuals, those born with biological characteristics that fall outside typical male-female classifications. The very notion of a gender binary is a social construct, not a biological imperative. It is a system of categorization imposed upon individuals, often with little regard for their lived experiences or internal sense of self. The right to self-identification challenges this binary, demanding recognition for the fluidity and multiplicity of gender. It asserts that gender is not something assigned at birth, but rather an intrinsic part of one's identity, shaped by individual experiences and self-perception. This shift in understanding is crucial in creating a more inclusive and equitable society for all. Self-determination lies at the heart of what it means to be transgender. It is the deeply personal process of recognizing, accepting, and asserting one's true gender identity. This process is unique to each individual and may not always align with the sex assigned at birth. It is essential to understand that self-determination is not about external validation or societal approval. It is about an internal alignment, a sense of congruence between one's lived experience and one's gender identity. This process can be liberating and empowering, allowing individuals to live authentically and embrace their true selves. However, the journey to self-determination is not always easy. Transgender individuals often face societal stigma, discrimination, and a lack of understanding from family, friends, and institutions. Access to healthcare, legal recognition, and social acceptance remain significant challenges in many parts of the world. The fight for transgender rights has gained significant momentum on the international stage. Landmark documents such as the International Bill of Gender Rights and the Yogyakarta Principles have laid the groundwork for recognizing and protecting the rights of transgender individuals. The International Bill of Gender Rights, adopted by a coalition of international human rights organizations, outlines a comprehensive framework for transgender equality. It calls for an end to discrimination based on gender identity and expression, ensuring equal access to healthcare, education, employment, and legal recognition. Similarly, the Yogyakarta Principles, developed by a group of international human rights experts, apply international human rights law standards to address the specific human rights violations faced by LGBTQ+ individuals. These principles affirm the right to self-determination, bodily integrity, and recognition before the law, regardless of gender identity or expression. Section 5. Barriers to equality, contemporary challenges and restrictions. Despite these advancements, transgender people continue to face numerous obstacles in their pursuit of equality. Many countries still lack legal recognition for gender identity, forcing individuals to conform to the gender assigned to them at birth, often through invasive and unnecessary medical procedures. Discriminatory laws and policies often create significant barriers for transgender individuals in accessing healthcare, employment, education, and housing. Transphobia, manifested in violence, hate speech, and social exclusion, remains a pervasive problem worldwide. Transgender people, particularly transgender women of color, are disproportionately affected by violence and poverty. They are often denied access to essential services and face systemic barriers that limit their opportunities and threaten their well-being. The fight for transgender rights is far from over. Section 6. A glimmer of hope. India's journey towards recognition. India, a nation grappling with deeply entrenched social norms and traditions, has witnessed both progress and setbacks in its approach to transgender rights. In a landmark judgment in 2014, the Indian Supreme Court recognized the right to self-identification for transgender people, affirming their right to identify as a third gender. This ruling was hailed as a significant victory, paving the way for legal recognition and protection against discrimination. The court emphasized the importance of dignity, autonomy, and self-determination for transgender individuals, challenging traditional notions of gender and identity. However, the practical implementation of this progressive judgment has been slow and uneven. Transgender people in India continue to face social stigma, discrimination, and violence. Access to healthcare, education, and employment remains limited, hindering their full participation in society. Section 7. Medicalization of identity, a critique of gatekeeping. One of the most contentious issues surrounding transgender rights is the medicalization of gender identity. Many countries require transgender individuals to undergo medical interventions, such as hormone therapy or surgery, to obtain legal recognition of their gender. This requirement often creates significant barriers for individuals who may not want or cannot access these medical procedures. The medicalization of gender identity raises serious ethical concerns. It reinforces the idea that transgender identities are inherently pathological, requiring medical intervention to be considered valid. This approach undermines the principle of self-determination and places undue burdens on transgender individuals. It is crucial to recognize that medical interventions can be life-affirming and essential for some transgender individuals. However, these decisions should be made autonomously, based on individual needs and desires, not imposed as prerequisites for legal recognition or social acceptance. Section 8. The road ahead, bridging the gap between theory and practice. While significant progress has been made in advancing transgender rights globally, a stark disconnect often exists between progressive legislation and the realities faced by transgender individuals. The journey towards true equality requires a multifaceted approach that addresses not only legal frameworks, but also societal attitudes, cultural norms, and institutional practices. Education is paramount in dismantling harmful stereotypes and fostering empathy and understanding. Open dialogues, representation in media, and visibility within all spheres of society are crucial in challenging prejudice and promoting acceptance. The fight for transgender rights is a fight for human rights. It is a fight for recognition, respect, and the freedom to live authentically. It is a fight that requires collective action, unwavering allyship, and a commitment to creating a world where everyone, regardless of their gender identity, can live with dignity and equality.